Hey beautiful people of the internet, my name is Ryan and welcome to the second installment of Hogwarts for the Holidays, a series that I'm doing this December. This is the installment for Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Hogwarts for the Holidays is just a series of videos I'm doing about rereading Harry Potter. I've read the books a lot of times before, but I'm rereading them this holiday season in an attempt to kind of go home again, go back to Hogwarts. It's been a couple years since I've read these books, and to see what I learned again this time reading the books. I think that the holidays are a special time to read the Harry Potter books, and so I hope that you'll join me. I know we're halfway through December already, but these books are quick reads, and I'm ramping up quickly, and I can't wait to finish these books before the new year starts. First off, if you have not seen the first video that I did on this, go stop and watch that right now. I'll put a playlist down in the comments, in the description below, to all of these videos so that you can always catch up if you haven't seen the first video already. Second off, if you don't want spoilers, yeah, this is not the video for you. This is not the series for you. I'm not going to try to not spoil Harry Potter, especially when coming back to these books for like the 10th, 12th, 14th time. I want to really dive deep, and that is going to involve doing some spoilers. So, if you don't want spoiled, I would depart now. In these videos, I'm going to be like Oprah, giving spoilers away like free cars. You get a spoiler, you get a spoiler, you get a spoiler. Here we go. Are you ready? Let's do it. 5 favorites and a reaction. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Let's do it. In this series, we talk about the same 5 favorites for all 7 books, and the first of those is the favorite spell. So in this book, we are introduced to a lovely little spell called Expelliarmus. That spell obviously looms larger than life in this series, and it gets its genesis in this book. In a kind of funny scene, honestly, where Gilderoy Lockhart and Professor Snape are dueling. The dueling club is happening, and that's where this larger than life spell is introduced. The spell is my favorite for a couple of different reasons. It's obviously such a large trademark of the series. It's used a lot of times, profusely, in the last couple of books. Even in The Goblet of Fire on, it's used by Harry and his crew. And the reason for that, of course, is that Expelliarmus, the disarming spell, it makes a kind of moral stance. It's a moral stance that you take on the world. If you're not going to use one of the unforgivable curses or something a little bit more dark, you're just going to do the disarming thing. That's a kind of stance you take on dueling and on how you treat the people that you are up against in the world. And obviously, since these books are a pretty protracted battle of good versus evil, it's important that the good side has their own kind of moral strategy. Second, my favorite character in the book. This is going to sound a little crazy, but I'm ready to defend myself. My favorite character, the character that I think is most embodying of this book as a whole, is young Tom Riddle. In the first book, we get a couple of different villains. We get Quirrell, who is kind of laughable, not a real villain, and we get Voldemort, who is not really fleshed out, pun intended. In the Chamber of Secrets, however, Tom Riddle appears on the page in one of the final scenes, and the minute that he appears on the page, he is complete gold from start to finish. My girlfriend always laughs at me when I say that, and I think she disagrees with me a little bit. But I remember reading this book for the first time, and this time reading it for the 14th time or whatever. Every time Tom Riddle first appears, I lean forward, and I am incredibly engrossed in what's happening. Because he, as a character, it's a great foreshadowing of where the dark side of these books is going to go. He is our first glimpse of a complex and charismatic and true villain in the sense of the word that is going to be important in these books. Okay, number 3, what is your favorite moment in the book? Mine is the moment when Ron defends Hermione from Malfoy calling her a mudblood. Malfoy, the pureblood, makes fun of her from coming from muggles. And that scene, while it ends hilariously with the slugs coming out of Ron as his wand is backfired, it begins so pure. That was also a pun, but that one was unintended. It begins so pure because Ron is just... We get a sense in this scene for the first time, or at least it's one of the best examples of this, that Ron, when he goes to Hogwarts, he gets 2 really good friends, Hermione and Harry, neither of whom has grown up in the wizarding world. And through the rest of these books, Ron is going to kind of be their liaison to the wizarding world that they don't really know. And this is one of those scenes. They have no idea what's happening. But Ron knows that Hermione has just been made fun of, or like a slur has been hurled at her. Let's not mince words here. She hasn't been made fun of. He's straight spitting slurs at her. And Ron does the right thing, even though neither of them know, that they've been made fun of, that Hermione has been attacked. Ron comes off so good in that scene, and I just really love that. Number 4, my favorite Dumbledore quote. It shows up on page 333 in the copy that I have, right after they're kind of decompressing from what has happened in the Chamber of Secrets. And of course it is addressing Harry's big fear in this book, which is that the Sorting Hat originally told him that he would fit in Slytherin, but eventually placed him in Gryffindor. This is right after Harry has said, "It only put me in Gryffindor because I asked not to go to Slytherin." Dumbledore says, "Exactly, which makes you very different from Tom Riddle." And here's the quote: "It is our choices, Harry, that show what we truly are far more than our abilities." I love that idea a lot, of course. It doesn't matter what house you're in, it doesn't matter what heritage you come from, what your abilities are even. What matters is how you make yourself anew each time that you make a choice. And your identity, at least the parts of it that you can control, is only tied to the choices that you make in this world. It's a beautiful way to think about the world. Every time I try and explain a Dumbledore quote, I don't do it justice. He already has it distilled and beautiful in the line, so I'm gonna move on. Number 5, my favorite bit of foreshadowing in this book. So on that exact same page, right before that in that conversation, Harry is asking about why he speaks Parseltongue. And Dumbledore says this: "Unless I'm much mistaken, he," meaning Voldemort, "transferred some of his own powers to you the night he gave you that scar. Not something he intended to do, I'm sure." Harry says it a little bit differently. "Voldemort put a bit of himself in me." And that, of course, is a direct bit of foreshadowing to the whole Horcruxes thing, which is going to show up in the last couple of books. Dumbledore only says that Voldemort gave some of his powers to Harry. Harry phrases it a little bit differently, which is actually more accurately. Voldemort indeed put a bit of his soul inside Harry. He's the final Horcrux. That's a long way off, but it is coming, and I can't wait to get to that part of this series. Okay, those are the 5 favorites, and the last thing, my overall reaction, rereading the book this time as a 26-year-old fan of the Harry Potter series. I always forget this, but there's a scene in the book where Hogwarts almost closes because the Chamber of Secrets has been opened again. And I never remember that when I'm not actually in the moment reading the book. But what struck me this time is the fact that Hogwarts, this incredible institution that has educated wizards for centuries, is this close to crumbling. Our institutions in this world are this close to crumbling. It takes 2 dumb decisions by dumb people to bring down our institutions. And I never, as a kid, realized that. I don't think you do as a child. I think you have to become an adult and realize and kind of look around at the world and see the work that other adults are putting in to propping up and holding up our institutions, making them as sturdy as they can be. Because none of that stuff is actually as sturdy as it seems. I think this is true in the real world as well. We're like 2 dumb decisions away from our institutions crumbling. And it takes renewed and constant effort to keep them sturdy. How's that for an old person's reading of Harry Potter? Alright, I hope that you enjoyed that. Those are my 5 favorites and my 1 reaction for Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I've, spoiler alert, already finished Prisoner of Azkaban, so that video is going to be coming here in just a couple of days. When this video goes up, I'm going to be doing a live stream here in just a couple of days on Monday. So you should come by the channel and hang out with me then. Probably not going to do a live stream on Christmas Eve, which would be the next Monday. But anyways, I'll have lots of these videos coming out this December, so keep checking on the channel. And what I would like to know from you is tell me your 5 favorites. So you've got your favorite moment, favorite spell, favorite character, favorite moment, favorite Dumbledore quote, and favorite bit of foreshadowing. Let me know if I missed any big pieces of foreshadowing. That's kind of the most fun one to pick out, is there's like these little tiny hints into things in the future. So let me know what yours were down in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. And otherwise, I will be back with another video here soon. Hope your holidays are going great. I'll see you guys soon. Best wishes.